the British performance gentleman, or das German efficiency. Welcome to our SUV comparison episode, top of the line performance SUVs, Aston Martin Dbx versus the Audi RS Q8. More than 1,000 horsepower on stage and almost €500,000 or $500,000. Let's go directly with the design in the front, where we can see a round, typical Aston Martin shape. And when you first heard about Aston Martin is building an SUV, some guys were like, but I really have to say, it was a great idea, because more than half the sales of Aston Martin are SUV now, are the Dbx. It's working great for them, and I can really say they're staying true to the heritage, to the design language. It just works very well. Daytime running light in the lower area here, and with a super cool matte paint for today. What a beautiful thing. And then let's move on over to the Audi RS Q8. It couldn't be more different. Look at that. Whereas the Aston Martin has the round shapes here, more, stretched in a way, but in an angular design. Wow. I mean, it looks super strong, super angular, more tech-alike. This tells us it's all about technology, all about engineering, whereas the Aston Martin is more about, wow, this emotion, pure automotive emotion. Of course, you can get it from both of the vehicles, but here in the front, I think, wow, it's really cool to see this huge difference. A lot of carbon fiber use here, and of course also the daytime running light is really, really different. What's your first design impression? Which one would you go for if you had to pick right now? Both are very interesting turning indicators. Look at that here with the Audi in a cascading style, and with the Aston Martin, it's not cascading, but it's in the lower area there. It's also a very interesting shape. Length at 5 meters 04 or 198 inches for the Aston Martin Dbx. The Audi RS Q8 is just a little bit shorter, an inch or 3 centimeters shorter, so more or less the same length. And once again, design-wise, just, more consistent with the Aston Martin. It's just more fluent, I would say, and then really stressed by this matte color. Wheels here stand in 22-inch, black style, huge brake calipers in red. Whereas with the Audi, also 22-inch is standard, but you can also optionally go for 23-inch. And we also have them here today. I mean, massive look for both of them, no doubt about that. Technology-wise, by the way, both come with adaptive air suspension, and also an anti-roll control is possible. Standard also for the Dbx. So technology-wise, already a lot in there. The Audi also offers a rear axle steering. That's of course a massive thing to make it more agile and also better to maneuver in the city and so on. Look at that. I'm watching the exhaust tips, and I think Autogefuel fake exhaust police, because the outer tip, which makes it bigger, is fake. Then there's one on the inside here for the Aston Martin. But besides that, I mean, what a real design. Look at that. Here, kind of integrated wing, beautiful, and then also this big lettering. What a consistent design, swinging tail lamp. This is just, wow. I mean, everyone's like, what is driving there? Wow. And then with the Audi, yeah, also a clear case for the Autogefuel fake exhaust police. Outside tip, pure fake, and the real ones are on the inside. And then we have some more elements, and definitely more gaps. And once again, this tech-style design, I would say, technology focus. But if you compare this one, I mean, I really also like the RS Q8 design. But looking at that, all the different elements there, and then switch it back to the Aston Martin Dbx, this is just so much cleaner. So design-wise, definitely, that's one for me. And also in the rear, if you have the Matrix LED option, yes, that's an option even for the RS Q8. Cascading style here for the rear turning indicators, or headlights in this case. And once again, more the slim design focus for the Aston Martin. Now to the engines, and in this vehicle here, you can search for ages on the driver's side, the current one, to open the engine. Of course, the original version of this one is right-hand drive, and that's why the engine opener is of course on the right side, even in the left-hand drive model. Both performance SUVs are powered by a 4-liter V8, here twin turbo with the Aston Martin. It says hand-built in Great Britain, but this engine here is actually supplied by AMG, so there is a lot of Mercedes also in this one. 550 horsepower and 4.5 seconds is the acceleration figure here, 21 kilometers or 62 miles an hour. The Audi RS Q8 is quicker. 600 horsepower and 3.8 seconds. Not as clean at the moment because we've been driving it for the last days as well. So 3.8 seconds in the acceleration figure. So more than half a second quicker is the Audi RS Q8. That's quite astonishing. So indeed, German efficiency is kind of then big with the Audi. But what about the consumption? Yeah, that too actually. So, you know, when you also drive it a little bit, some 12 liters or more kilometers, the Aston Martin rather some 15 liters or more kilometers. So at least, yeah, about 3 liters or more kilometers difference here, the Audi RS Q8 to the Aston Martin. Indeed, it's more powerful and more efficient engine-wise. Vote for your favorite exhaust note. Now it's interior time. Already showing you the keys. Both are really cool. The Aston Martin one is way heavier, so more metal use for that one. This one then a little bit slimmer for the RS, for the Audi RS Q8. So both are definitely lovely. Here there's some metal knurling on the Aston Martin key as well. Start with the Audi here. We have a soft close function. Hey, magic. And door closing sound. Really good, although we have frameless doors, that's very seldom, and also dual insulation glass here, so that's very well done. Inside of the doors we have the microfiber used right there, and also soft touch in here for the armrest. Good quality clicking sounds for the buttons and so on. And then my favorite feature for today, the microfiber steering wheel. It's just so cool, such a great grip. It gives you such a natural atmosphere in the vehicle because it's soft and cozy, racy at the same time. And no matter what people say, I would always go for the microfiber steering wheel. There's also microfiber available for the seats. So that's definitely better with the Audi RS Q8. Not in this very version, the optional animal skin package. And the quilting here looks great, but it's not that comfortable long term. So without the quilting and with the microfiber, if you can get a microfiber seat in your country, go for that one. It will give you more comfort. And getting on the inside, actually easy entry. So the VW Touareg, Audi Q7, Audi Q8, the Porsche Cayenne, they all share the same platform that has this very even entry sill, and that's just creating a very special mood. So good comfort, good ergonomics of the seat, steering control all electric of course. Right here we can expect it at this price point, and with one with the 6.1, a lot of headroom left. It's a very good position, and you get in the vehicle and everything is kind of self-explanatory. It's, let's say, an easy car to control, although it has so much horsepower. So that's a plus for the RS Q8. Audi RS Q8 interior, really clean design, everything well organized. However, to me, too much of black piano lacquer used. That's the downside, I think, here. Then RS mode at the steering wheel. You can pick your racing mode directly at the steering wheel. That's actually great, and the Aston Martin does not have that. Then digital instruments, 12.3 inch. You can switch the views. For example, have the map all over the place, and great quality of the screen, 12.3 inch. Then head-up display is an option, and clear view then to that. The view to the front, however, is a little bit blocked by the front hood. That will be different in the Aston Martin, I can tell you soon. Then 10.1 inch central screen. Lower one is an 8.6 inch screen, but they play together a little bit. On the top part, easy menu structure, GPS, looks really cool, great CPU power, so it's fast enough. And then there also is the Apple CarPlay integration, or Android Auto, cable or wirelessly. B&O sound system is an option, and you have a great 3D in-depth sound, really love that. And in the lower part, you know, I love manual climate knobs. I really prefer them, but for a touchscreen solution for the temperature, it's good. It's really good. It's not too hard to control also while driving, especially because you can slide. And if the passenger switches something here and you want to sync it again, do this gesture. That's a cool trick actually for that. And then here, microfiber cover for the automatic shifting lever. So everything is, let's say, better organized than in the Aston Martin. Smartphone, right here, 2 USB HRs and also inductive charging pad. And in the rear, also upright good seating position and enough legroom left, 1.86 m or 6'1". And also the headroom is just fine. So a lot of space here definitely in the rear. Even in the middle part you can actually sit quite well. You can adjust the back of the seat a little bit, and this middle climate unit for the rear is also quite impressive. Now the Dbx, integrated door handles, that looks cool, and also, you know, the quality that resonates is just very interesting. The thing is, it's less practical to use, but it's more exciting, and that's the thing about this vehicle. Door closing sound is not as good as with the Audi, but really, once again, maybe less practical, but more emotion. Here, carbon fiber at the inside of the doors, and also design-wise, it's like on the exterior, so much round elements, whereas the Rs Q8 is more, let's say, you know, angular and efficient, so to speak, also in the design. Then, nice entry badge, seats all about animal skin. That's also the thing I criticize here most. So many cows in this vehicle, and nowadays it's not really necessary. You can get the same experience also with great high quality non-cow materials meanwhile. But the design, once again, British luxury. Interesting steering wheel, which is smaller actually than the Rs Q8. And I mean, I love the microfiber steering wheel, but it's also cool that this one here, for example, is smaller. And you also have the electric control here and Mercedes stock columns, for example. So more Mercedes, and look at that here. The light switches is also Mercedes, you know, very interesting. Seating itself is actually a little bit stiffer, especially here, you know, in the outside areas. Both cars offer great comfort and headroom. Also no problem with 1.86, 6'1". However, I have to say, the seats in the Rs Q8 to me a little bit more comfortable, especially long term, and even more so if you can get the microfiber for the Rs Q8 in your market, then it's even better as for the comfort. But I mean, the difference really huge between both cars here when you look at that. Interior of the Aston Martin Dbx, more swinging lines like in the exterior, so that's definitely more emotional and less black piano lacquer. That's cool. Also here, for example, more carbon fiber. And the steering wheel here, real buttons, that's good also. And here for the volume control, for example, digital instruments, but more or less plain, so not that sophisticated as with the Audi. No head-up display. And then also this middle screen, it's no touch, by the way, and they use the old Mercedes infotainment system. And that's why you also see this turning jog here in the lower part. This is typical Mercedes. You know that from the previous generation Mercedes. Here's the home menu button, and yeah, you are scrolling a lot actually. So the user interface not as good. And also here, when you take a look at the GPS, this is also the Mercedes GPS. So Aston Martin has been Mercedenized. Mercedes also bought shares in Aston Martin, and they are even stacking up their share in Aston Martin, by the way. Pretty interesting. And in the lower area, the climate control, this is still somewhat manual, so yeah, you can easily control also while driving. And for the driving modes, not possible at the steering wheel. You have to go down right here, and then you can go for these sporty driving modes, for example. So the user interface a little bit more complicated. Cup holders here, and then more space, and that's then your smartphone connection. And then to select the gears, first of all here, engine starts up. That's cool. I mean, you can do that. But then to select the gears, I think nowadays it's just too complicated. Now we start up, then D, P, reverse. It takes time. So a normal automatic shifting lever is just more efficient once again. It's cool, however, it's fancy, but not really that well usable. Oh, Professor Thomas found this. Yeah, the gaps. German Spaltmaße. Yeah, it's totally a German thing. You can also say that makes more character with the British vehicles. Quack, quack. This was the legroom in the Audi Rs Q8. Let's check it out here now in the Aston Martin Dbx. And yeah, it's definitely less legroom right here. And it's also a little bit shorter from this bench. Headroom also, yeah, I mean to the glass it's the same, but to the side here then it gets quite close. So overall the Rs Q8 feels more spacious in the rear. However, it's actually also quite comfortable here. The seats are a little bit plusher in the rear from the bolstering, for example. You can't adjust them right here. That's basically it, just with flipping. And also in the middle part, it's a little bit bigger with this whole middle console, and also the climate unit is not as sophisticated. Here it's a little bit more caged in on the one hand, but for this vehicle, there's also one available for the RSQ8, but here we can already see it's the panoramic roof. The difference is this one is just a shade available, whereas for the RSQ8 you can also get a roof that can be opened. My favorite interior feature of the Aston Martin here, the Alcantara microfiber ceiling, beautiful. And also here, look at that, the grab handle here, 4 times. Yeah, you know, like furniture or luggage style. This is so cool, nice and premium. Love these details. And the sun visor goes in the same direction. Once again, the nice microfiber. And here, look at that, the light then, the mirror has this cover and also the secondary shade. Yeah, come on. Yeah, there we go. So this is then for the side here that you can also have more shade here. That is a cool luxury feature. Ambient lighting for the Aston Martin Dbx. Here, this middle console, which has also this open space, by the way, interesting. And then another one at the inside of the doors at both sides. So subtle but elegant. And ambient lighting in the Audi RSQ8. A little bit more in this upper area. So here, for example, the illuminated Quattro logo, then also inside of the doors. And also the middle console here on both sides. Pretty fancy. 630 liters for the Aston Martin, 605 for the Audi RSQ8. So a little bit more capacity in the trunk and very reusable. Of course, the best usable Aston Martin ever. And look at that, you know, the detail. Wow, this is really cool. And you can also fold the seats from here with these buttons. There we go. So there's a very, very cool function. However, a little bit limited due to design right here. So that is actually a little bit more practical with the Audi RSQ8, although a little bit less in liter figures. But here is more square in the dimensions, so easier to load things in and out. That's the advantage of the Audi. However, you have to, you know, go around to fold the seats, so that's then the disadvantage. Overall, both are very well usable. Oh, there's more previous generation Mercedes inside. Here, remember these buttons? Typical Mercedes, the C-Class, for example. Yeah, not really fitting then here. Whoa! And also not fitting torque for the child safety test here. Oh, and not to forget, what a great integration of the umbrella right here in the trunk. So really clean integration, and then you can take it out like this. And if you now think, yeah, you know, the British and the rain, I can tell you, it also rains really a lot in Germany. Maybe too much. Yeah, the buttons here are a little bit more premium in the Audi in this case. And yeah, a little bit better as for the sensitivity, the torque they put behind this hatch here. Alright, Audi RSQ8, 600 horsepower. Let's put it to the RS mode, hit the German motorway, Autobahn time. Let's go. That was 140, and even if we are at that speed, 130 kilometers an hour now at the moment, or yeah, like some 80 miles an hour. I mean, it feels like accelerating with some other cars from standstill, and you're already at speed, and it's just always going. It's really incredible, and at the same time, you can remove the RS modes and use it cruisingly. Air suspension is standard. The rear axis steering is also standard for this version here, so you're agile at lower speeds, but also more stable at higher speeds. Even in a normal driving mode, a lane change is so flawless, super precise steering wheel, that is so much fun. Great grip with the microfiber surface of the steering wheel, and now we're driving 160 kilometers an hour and it feels like nothing. You know, the noise insulation, superb, is super silent in here. I mean, it stands like a cupboard or so against the wind, you know, in one way. But here, sitting on the inside, you don't feel it at all. That's really superb. And Even the RS mode, everything is more optimized, air suspension stiffer, we're going a little bit lower. But still, this car is so well to control. The overdrive, classic quattro with the rear wheel biased. Rear wheel biased, that's of course really cool. Oh, there's the police. Shall we tease them a little bit? Nah, we would never do that. Yeah, the good thing is, in this case, what we're doing at the moment is absolutely legal. Now 200 kilometers an hour, 125 miles an hour, and once again, super stable on the road. It's like nothing for this car, and wow, so much in control at higher speeds. We rarely find that with any other SUV. Yeah, a Porsche Cayenne is surely something which you can compare as well for this stability at higher speeds. Wow, just superb. There is a Dynamic Package Plus in this vehicle. That means unlocked top speed to 305 kilometers an hour or 190 miles per hour. That's of course super insane, and we have to say, I enjoy driving fast, yes, but usually I keep it, at maximum like 160 kilometers an hour or something, so around 100 miles per hour. Yeah, that's totally German talking. Like, I'm not driving fast, it's just 160 kilometers an hour. Yeah, sorry, that's really German talk, I know. But, my point is that driving faster usually also doesn't make any sense because there are other cars going in your lane and you have to be super cautious. So when you have like a three lanes here, German Autobahn, and the speed is really unrestricted, then 160 kilometers an hour is a good speed where you can keep it on the left lane and then relax. Sometimes maybe a little bit faster, sometimes a little bit slower, but you can kind of have a good flow, something like that. Yeah. Then the unlimited speed for this, driver's dynamic package, not really needed. What's also interesting that there are the ceramic brakes in that, so super great braking performance. They also do not have this effect. Sometimes when we have the ceramic brakes with passenger cars here, you feel that you have to push them more. Here, it's super easy. You don't even feel you have the brakes, but you still have more braking power. And although 23-inch wheels, it's still great in comfort. This is a sportier setup, but still this car is really very good in comfort. Upright seating position. Only what I said earlier, this quilting on the seat, this special stitching, that makes the ride more uncomfortable. They should have not gone for that. And of course, even better if you get the microfiber, the Alcantara surface, then you'll have even more comfort. Wow. It's really incredible. What a phenomenal drive here, and the German motorway really shows what a car is capable of. Did anyone notice I changed clothes? Whatever. So now RS2 mode, up the hill, letting the motorbike pass, and now we can go. Holy moly. Wow, this is instant torque. Wow, really super cool. Rear axis steering helping me at lower speeds, so this makes the car super agile, and what a precise control of the steering wheel once again. I mean, we are in a huge SUV. We are moving so much weight, and yet it's so agile, and just a brutal performance when you hit the throttle. It's really great. And comparing, for example, also Mercedes-AMG GLE 63 or the BMW X5 or X6M, I think with the Audi top performance with the RS model, they still keep more comfort. That's what I really like about the Audi RS model. They have great compromise of comfort and sportiness. You don't miss sportiness, you don't miss comfort either. That's really cool. So good everyday driver, and driving up these curvy roads, so much fun. You're so much in control, so much precision. That is really German engineering at its best, and that doesn't matter if I come from Germany or not. That's just fact here in this case. I love British vehicles. I'm really looking forward how the Dbx performs here, but this is really wow, flawless performance here. Wow, look at that. Just enjoy these corners here with me. Also tune into our episode with the RSQ8 from Tenerife, by the way. That was a blast, and actually my last trip together with my dad, with Holger. You know, a lot of long-term subscribers still know him. Sadly, he died last year in a quite horrible way. So this car also, when I'm driving it, always reminds me of the great memories we had together. And if you can do a great car trip with your son or with your father, you know, depending on what's your family situation now and how old you are, do it, and best do it today, you know, as long as you can still do it. And now, Aston Martin Dbx with a peculiar turning indicator sound, really unique, sounds strange somewhat, but yeah, why not making it unique? German motorway, Autobahn time, and we go to the Sports Plus mode, and whoo! That, by the way, yeah, only when you really know what you're doing, and best on closed circuit, because it also draws back the stability controls and so on. We find a safe spot and accelerate from 25 kilometers an hour and let the hell roll. Let's go. That's 180 kilometers an hour. Whew. Wow. I mean, sound-wise, yeah, definitely more screaming from this one. Steering a little bit loosey in the low degree angles, I think, but super stable on the road. Noise insulation also top-notch. Maybe a little bit lower than in the Audi RSQ8. Lane change here at higher speeds. Very stable, good control. Steering, indeed, the Audi RSQ8 has a little bit better steering input. Feels a little bit safer, a little bit better to control, but I mean, this one here also with the anti-roll control, it just keeps upright, really massive, hard on the brakes. Yeah, great braking performance, and this exhaust is screaming definitely louder than the Audi RSQ8. The very first driving review we had with the RSQ8, oh, see the crackles and plops. Very first driving review, the RSQ8 was louder. Now with new regulations and so on, a little bit more silent. So it feels faster here. It feels faster in the Aston Martin. It feels quicker, but it's not. The RSQ8 is quicker on paper, but it feels the other way around. That's the thing about this vehicle. More this emotional approach. More screaming out, sensual design, also both exterior, interior, then the loud exhaust and so on. But the thing is, you know, in the past, sometimes with the British vehicles, it was then, yeah, and then you also have to live with maybe some technology flaws or something. It's not the case here at all. It's great engineering work as well. To me, it's the best Aston Martin I've ever driven, also on the technology scale, definitely. So it really offers both sensation and also very good driving performance. Yeah, I mean, the steering is good, no doubt about that. It's just that the Audi steering is perfect. You know, that's one of the differences. Suspension-wise, it really depends on the driving mode. You can also go to this GT driving mode, and then the air suspension gives you a little bit more comfort. So the suspension, also great job. From the setup, a little bit stiffer here with the Aston Martin if you compare it to the Audi RSQ8 as for suspension. And also the seating, definitely, you know, a little bit stiffer, especially in this, you know, thigh area also. So the Dbx feels racier than the RSQ8, whereas the RSQ8 is racier. That's really a funny thing. So the RSQ8, better compromise between comfort and sportiness, and here the Dbx a little bit more aggressive in all of the, you know, little elements and so on. But definitely a lot of fun here as well. Really cool and good performance here on the ultimate Germanish test here on our Autobahn. Ooh, and here action in the tunnel. And I want to do it one more time with the acceleration. Also here with the shifting pedals, the freestanding. They don't move together with the steering wheel. They are standing still and really feel very great. So one more time we go to the Sports Plus mode. And now I want to shift myself, and also shift down yourself, of course, like this. That's very cool. Let's go to second gear one more time, shall we? Wow, that corner here, Nürburgring Nordschleife alike, super stable on the road. And I mean, suddenly I'm forgetting I'm in an Aston Martin SUV. I rather feel like an Aston Martin race car. Woo! That is really racy. Wow. 230 kilometers an hour. Well, it's allowed here. Yeah. At least still at the moment. Sure if that will change in the future, but wow. Really great job. Now again, back to normal speed, shifting down ourselves. Wow, the shifting experience, like, okay, listen to that. Click. Up and down, and like, wow. Really awesome shifting pedals. I would probably spend all day just shifting by myself. So once again, yeah, the emotional factor here, really awesome, man. And of course, what about driving up the hill with the Dbx? And now driving up Autogefuel's peak with the Aston Martin Dbx. Screaming from the exhaust. Let's see. Holy. Also great performance, definitely. Nice rear-wheel biased all-wheel drive as well. More screaming from the exhaust. Yeah, here now in these corners has a little bit more effect that the steering is good, but not perfect. So a little bit more feeling in the steering would be cooler, definitely. But yeah, it's very nice that it's very small. That makes the car very well to control as well here. Suspension definitely stiffer than with the RSQ8, but that's of course quite helpful then here in these corners. Shifting down myself, of course, a lot of fun here. A little bit more loose it feels. The RSQ8 feels more like engineering perfection, and this one here, yeah, once again, a little bit more emotion and wow, definitely cool. Shifting down. And now the hairpin corner, that's always very interesting. First gear. Yes! Oh, I was having so much fun here as well. Oh, this deer. Slow and silent. Respect to the animals, of course. Wow, amazing. Oh, and there's Michel. He wants to take a great shot from the outside. Shall we also give him a little bit of sound? Let's go. Yeah, I mean, what a cool driving experience here as well. So much fun. It's such a tough choice. Both really come very close. Yes, the Aston Martin is more expensive. It's not really justified. I can say that it's more expensive. You can really compare these two cars. They really come very, very close in a lot of different things, although the looks are absolutely different. I really have to think about this for a second. So which one would I take home? Which one would you take home? I really have to say, from the exterior, definitely the Aston Martin Dbx for me. This fluent design is just so lovely, and yeah, you know, I have a fable for British vehicles. I always had, and yeah, just so emotional. The Audi RSQ8 actually promises what it holds on the exterior, this tech design focus, and indeed, driving wise, it's more efficient and more powerful at the very same time. So driving wise, there's just a little bit more coming from the Audi, and also this rear axle steering is of course a big technology upgrade and really worthwhile. On the interior, the Aston Martin is a little bit more exclusive and has a lot of surprising details, really cool, whereas the Audi is in a way more modern, especially infotainment system wise and from the user input and so on and so on. So that really gets tricky. So if you ask me, take one of these cars for one day. No doubt the Aston Martin Dbx. But if you ask me, then take this car for a longer period of time as an everyday driver for 2 years, then it's the Audi RS Q8 for me, because it's a little bit easier to handle just when everyday driving life, is a little bit more efficient and also has the more modern user input. So more emotion just from the Aston Martin Dbx, but a little bit more efficiency and perfection from the Audi RS Q8. Yeah, it's still a really tough choice, so I have to come to this conclusion actually. But really looking forward to what is your opinion, which one would you actually go for? Pricing wise, by the way, very interesting. So an Audi RS Q8 starts way lower at about 120,000 euros or something. But then you can easily spec it up as it is here now right now, 180,000 euros. The Aston Martin Dbx already starts around 200,000 euros, with some extras more than 200,000 euros. So yes, the Aston Martin is more expensive, but well spec the RS Q8, the difference is not that huge anymore. So definitely also price performance wise, it's also the Audi RS Q8. But yeah, it's really the thing that my heart says the Aston Martin and the head says the Audi RS Q8. What about you? And also tune into the BMW X5 and X6M episode. It's also very interesting to compare right there. Or what about the Maserati Levante Trofeo? That is also then the Italian performance SUV choice.